You made it. Come on in.
Perhaps we should temper our expectations.
You don't know the whole story.
It's time to break down another Better Call Saul episode in order. This one is pretty shocking, and I've got 47 details you might not know in Season 4, Episode 7.
Something stupid.
Do not adjust your screen. We start with content only on the left, and that is Crest from the Future. It's the start of perhaps the most famous montage in Better Call Saul. The song is an award-winning version of Something Stupid, custom-made for the show by Lola Marsh. The Sinatra version was too short and too expensive, and they were already having budget problems this season. This way, they could customize it for their needs, including having the female voice on the left and the male voice on the right to match Kim and Jimmy on screen. And the version of the song you're hearing now was custom-made for all of you by Summer Woods and musical guest Joel Beaver. Another song they considered for this montage was Perfect Day by Lou Reed. Music supervisor Thomas Gulyabich was reluctant though, since it was featured so prominently in Train Spotting. Maybe he'll eventually change his mind for a later opportunity. It's Mother's Day, that means we've finally made it to May. This is Steve Sawhill from the art department making a cameo. Jimmy's using the Saul name again, along with his cell phone number we've seen before, which we've already counted as a callable number. You shouldn't call it if you haven't already started Season 5 though. Oh, now it's June. They must have printed another one of these because the alignment of the letters is different in this shot. At this PPD check-in, Jimmy's appearance is...
Okay.
And his demeanor is...
Okay.
That mugshot doesn't match what we saw got taken. He wasn't wearing a tie.
Ties.
His Harper Drive address is what we've seen before as one of Kim's addresses, but still strangely without the apartment number. He typically works 31 hours a week and makes $4,500 a month, the equivalent of about $36 an hour. But a lot of that is likely from sales commissions, which apparently were quite good for cell phones in the early 2000s. Well, that's a relief. The Flagstaff branch opened after all.
There's a major error in the paperwork that went out to Flagstaff.
Despite this dialogue-free montage being almost 5.5 minutes long, this is the shortest episode in the entire Breaking Bad universe at 41 minutes. The montage has so many pieces that many people told Peter Gould they wouldn't be able to pull it off on a TV schedule. To make it happen, they chose a lot of the locations where they were already filming, so it wouldn't take too much extra time. And Peter said these shots were stolen from when they filmed episode 4, although they used different takes. You can tell because the cars are the same in both episodes. Although this montage juxtaposes their very different lives and shows them growing apart, we do get some moments of them together. Kim's getting her cast off later than expected because in April she told Rich,
How long you got with that thing? 3 more weeks.
and now it's July. That's Gary, played by an actor who has appeared in many Darman videos. As usual, they paid attention to color throughout this, such as coordinating the pops of green or the tendency to have law-abiding blue on Kim's side and bits of criminal red on Jimmy's side. Jimmy's wearing that 1-minute sweatsuit now for the 3rd time in Better Call Saul. Yikes, now it's the end of August or early September. On Kim's side, there are 2 Thanksgiving-related signs, which might be a bit early, but Jimmy's cycling through many days here, so we're still roughly in sync. And now October. Back in April, Jimmy said,
How many hours a week?
This week, 31, but I'll pick up more.
but it looks like that didn't happen. He is still doing trash removal community service, even though they don't show us.
Cheyenne, Wyoming?
We got a preview of this branch earlier in the season. Here they appear to be together, physically anyway, even though nothing crosses the line. But here they're apart, both physically and mentally.
North Platte, Nebraska.
Holy sh**, 2004. Happy New Year. How much further are we going to go? Just kidding. But now that it's January 2004, his PPD is complete. It has been 12 months since...
JMM.
although his suspension still has another month to go. I don't know about you, but I find unexpected time jumps traumatizing. There's a real sense of loss when you're suddenly yanked out of a familiar situation with familiar characters. It's a little reminiscent of the gliding overall montage time jump, although there it was less than 3 months. But in the last episode, Jimmy said,
10 months? What can happen?
and we're seeing that play out over 9 months in a very sad way. And the montage ends the opposite of how it started, with Jimmy alone on the right. Because the montage started with the scene filling the left half of the screen, when the bar appears for the rest of it, it's actually not quite centered. COP Real Estate is back. We saw it on the laundry building, and this fake company is named after Trina COP. The nurse, police archivist, Andrea stuntwoman, necklace dropper, cigarette swapper, crossword filler, pistachio supplier, and the other best laser pointer holder west of the Mississippi. In real life, she's a prop master stuntwoman actress producer who's now a co-executive producer on Pluribus.
You made it. Come on in. Picture a reception desk right here, right? Over in this corner, we got a fireplace.
Fireplace. I killed my mother for a fireplace.
Picture a couch, couple chairs, water cooler, electric kettle, an assortment of teas.
We have Lipton's.
This was shot as a oneer, and they did the whole thing about 11 times, but they ended up doing a cut here because the Steadicam operator kept bumping into the narrow doorway.
We're gonna get that cleaned out.
Unlike Walt's house, this place does have 2 bathrooms. We'll see that later in this rehearsal footage they shot on an iPhone.
And there's a shower in there when you're buried in discovery.
Bob wanted to throw in the legal language here that wasn't in the script, so a writer's assistant who went to law school came up with that.
Cherry blossoms. That's nice.
Cherry blossoms weren't in the script either, but they changed the line once they saw them on site.
4, 5, 6. It's pretty big. Get one of those snazzy Keurigs. Stick a few potted plants around. What do you think?
So no more cell phones?
This is what the phones were for.
In case it wasn't clear why Jimmy was so invested in the drop phone business,
I did it for Kim. If you were a lawyer, this would be a great place, right?
If I was a lawyer?
Huell takes a turn looking straight into the camera. He's done this before.
Nope. Big glass high-rise, 40th floor. When I'm not on my boat.
He's had almost 10 months to build a business she can't say no to, but all he has to show for it is an office that Huell could easily say no to. Hector's bad infection really was.
Temporary.
Although it has been 9 months since we last saw him.
Este es verde.
If only there was a better way to communicate.
Excelente.
This card is using older era-appropriate logos.
Oh, okay, let's just hold off on lunch.
Hector's about to risk it all. Literally, but it's a familiar move.
Está bien, Hector. Solo un espasmo muscular, okay?
This fleeting decision shaped the events of Breaking Bad.
Hector, ¿estás aquí conmigo?
As we appreciate the miracle worker that is Dr. Bruckner, I want to thank this video's sponsor, ZocDoc. We all know the dangers of procrastinating seeing a doctor or the downsides of choosing the wrong one, and that's why I use ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. From primary care to dentistry, eye care, skin care, and nearly everything in between. ZocDoc makes it easy to book in-network appointments with more than 150,000 healthcare providers. You can filter for doctors by insurance, location, and specialties so you can choose the best, most convenient care for you. They also have verified patient reviews and detailed doctor profiles so you can get a clear sense of the provider before you step into the office. Choose a time that works for you and you can instantly book the visit online. Appointments on ZocDoc usually happen fast, often within 24 to 72 hours, and sometimes even same day depending on availability. Visit ZocDoc.com/BetterWatchTV to find and instantly book an appointment with a provider who will listen, understand, and support you. That's ZocDoc.com/BetterWatchTV. Thanks again to ZocDoc for supporting this channel.
Anyone in particular you want me to talk to? Or not talk to?
Talk to anyone. Just have fun. You sure about that?
Jimmy's probably already feeling inferior with Kim in the driver's seat driving her nicer car. This is the first of 5 episodes written by Allison and the only episode directed by Deborah.
Ron, this is Jimmy McGill.
Hi. Hi,
Hey,
how
this
are
is
you?
Jimmy McGill.
Famous Gary and the famouser Steph. Oh, whoa, here it is. This is for us. Debbie, one for you.
The creator said Jimmy kept his gray suits from Davis and Maine because 1, they're nice and he doesn't have much money, and 2, he thinks they make him look successful. Jimmy realizes that rundown office can't compete with this.
7, 8, 9, 10.
It's a bit telling that Jimmy rounds up his proposed office to 6 but doesn't round up Kim's. We saw Diana in the opening montage. They purposely made that grammatical error in her letter. Jimmy's feeling inadequate and out of place, which leads to his uncomfortable behavior in a moment. Lynn and Perry are back. We met them when Kim originally interviewed here.
Oh, we're just talking about company retreats.
Where are we going?
Employees only.
Darn it!
I'm thinking of splurging a little this year. Don't want to be outdone by the competition. Word gets out, you're a cheapskate. I still think that Taos is #1. I love a ski trip.
Nice.
Feel free to jump in. We're just spitballing here.
I don't. I mean, you know where the great skiing is. Tell you right.
It's kind of a long drive, isn't it?
Rent one of those fancy party buses. Sound of music on the TVs. Everybody sings along.
I guess that counts.
It's worth considering.
And parkas. Custom parkas. You're gonna make an impression. You will thank me later.
You certainly don't think small.
Shit. You know what? Aspen. That's where you want to go. It's a billionaire's playground.
Jimmy, Aspen is like a 9-hour bus ride.
What's that I hear? I'm a private charter jet, transporting 56 distinguished attorneys to their amazing destination, Aspen. Here we come. Come on, Rich.
They had more dialogue between Jimmy and Rich that they cut because they decided they didn't need it. Showing the drive home, however, was a late addition not originally in the script.
Well, that was something.
Yep.
Yikes. There's Mike's car, a nice bit of realism. And this footage was stolen from the previous episode as the airplane trail is identical. There's a camera reflection. The jarringly cheerful song is about a hobo's idea of paradise, which I suppose could be applied to Gus's eventual paradise, a hole in the ground that kind of looks like a mountain. Or it could be applied to these warehouse living quarters, although after 9 months of this, they are clearly all beaten down. This wasn't originally all a silent montage. There was a story about the treats Werner's handing out, and we'll see it in a deleted scene at the end. Werner's original estimate was
6 months, which means 8 at least, probably 10.
so maybe we're about to see a familiar sight.
Your new lab.
Here they go from the actual laundry location to a set just for the top of the hatch, and then a separate set for the underground area. Okay, so they're a bit behind schedule. They used an anamorphic lens here to cause the flares because they wanted this to look otherworldly. They were inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is a familiar house, although there's no sign of Gus's kids this time. And this is a familiar dish.
A Chilean dish.
Pot of stew.
Paila Marina.
The next time he visits Hector, I expect him to admit that the real chef is a kawadi under his hat.
I kept it. I believe anyone can cook. You know the question that I will ask.
Is it the Hector Salamanca you knew? I think if you see the evidence, you'll be very encouraged.
Sharing this with Gus seems like a HIPAA violation, but I'm going to assume the cousins consented to this on behalf of Hector. Of course, Gus's TV and the camcorder are Sony products, and they both look like anachronisms. The timing of this video lines up almost perfectly with the scene as we saw it, until we get to the nurse part, which is accelerated. Here she's folding the blanket 6 seconds too early, then Hector flicks the cup almost 3 seconds too late to better fit around the dialogue, and he's using more fingers. Then the nurse bends over 8 seconds too early and much further at a different angle.
Has he done that before?
That was likely an involuntary movement. Do you think that was purposeful?
You've done magnificent work. Construction on your clinic is nearly complete. I trust the work is to your specifications.
The new wing is simply extraordinary.
I've kept you from your work long enough.
Oh.
It is time to delegate Mr. Salamanca's care.
Are you sure? Hector's progress is very promising. With sustained, intensive care, he may eventually learn how to talk and even walk again.
Perhaps we should temper our expectations.
He's such a bastard, but then again, so is Hector. You'd think she might protest or offer someone else to continue the therapy, but if Gus is unwilling to continue paying, there's not much she can do.
I believe that Paila Marina is ready.
This is one of the rare moments where the show uses an obviously fake 555 number for travel wire. And this number has been used in a lot of shows and movies. This was the last scene they shot for this episode, and it was really late at night. Werner's mouth doesn't match this next line.
We are nearly ready to pour the walls, but we must clear that rock to make way for the elevator shaft.
Ah yes, the elevator that makes the staircase under the washing machine redundant.
There must be one more blast.
That means they're almost done. I wonder why Breaking Bad made it seem like the lab wouldn't be ready until 5 years in the future.
How big a pop are we talking about?
Was machst du im Glassenschauer? Wie lange es dauert, das zu reparieren? Vielleicht lebst du ja gerne in diesem Loch, aber wir wollen gerne nach Haus.
Du bist ja nie der große Macker.
Mein Gott,
Jungs, kommt runter!
Mike has learned some German over all these months.
Yo, Saul! 3.
Coming right up.
It looks like he's selling them for $50 each, which is fine now that he pays $20 for them. You'd think he was charging more when he was buying them for $45 plus tax, though.
Clock's ticking there, too.
This you, Saul Goodman?
That's right, officer.
Doesn't bother you that you're peddling to a bunch of lowlifes who use these things to sell drugs?
What my customers do with the phones after they leave my possession, that's their business.
Let me ask you a favor, all right? Get your van out of here, park it in front of a grocery store in Corrales, you know, someplace nice, and sell there.
My customer base is right here.
Get some new customers.
I don't feel the need to. I got a permit, and I'm collecting sales tax, and this is a legitimate business.
It may be a legitimate business, but there's debate over whether this should violate the terms of his PPD.
James Morgan McGill must only associate with law-abiding citizens.
Maybe his customers aren't a problem, but his relationship with Huell could be, since we'll learn he has a criminal record.
I'm asking nicely.
And I respectfully decline.
So as long as you make a buck, the whole world can just go in the crap.
Yeah.
That is quite a hit, and his headphones have slid down for this shot only. 2 cans of Shasta grape fly here and here, but then we see one here and one on the ground over here. So either there were 4 cans in that bag, or the 2 have continuity issues.
He's a cop. He had no idea you were a police officer.
Oh, he knew all right. I picked him up 3 years ago.
While they were filming this, Peter DeSeth was helping a friend move out of this building.
Pickpocketing.
How can you be sure it's the same guy?
Seriously.
That joke would have been better if Huell still looked as unique as he did in Breaking Bad. These Miller Lite cans are too modern. This pinball machine is period appropriate, although the sounds are from a much older machine.
Michael, glad that you can join me for my happy hour.
He doesn't look so happy to me.
They'll feel better after when in kindergarten the whole class has a nice little rest.
Nap time.
Nap time. Mittagsschläfchen.
Mittagsschläfchen.
Mittagsschläfchen ist für alte Säcke wie euch. Und sein Deutsch ist bescheuert.
He said, you sound like a real crowd.
How do you say bullshit?
Bullshit.
Yeah, that.
You're one of us, Michael. Emmentraut in German comes from 2 words. World plus strength.
Yeah, I guess.
And Ziegler appropriately means brickmaker.
What would happen if we sent Kai back to Germany?
Look, Kai is my best demolition man. He's a Cosmo, but he's a good boy. They all are.
Maybe that's the problem. They're boys.
We need young people to do this work. Or maybe you and I will do it.
Writer Allison pointed out we've got 2 evolving male friendships featured in this episode. First, Jimmy and Huell, which mostly developed during the opening montage, and now Mike and Werner. Jonathan and Reiner became friends in real life, too.
He invited Reiner and even Reiner's family to come live with him at Jonathan's house in Malibu.
Oh, here he is. Let me see if I can put you on speaker. I'm in a live interview.
Are you joking? Are you kidding me?
No, you're in this interview with me.
I send you a kiss and greetings to all the people who are around you.
I love you, brother.
They thought they were going to be here for 8 months. They can see we're not even halfway done.
Wow, that is demoralizing.
You can't keep men locked away forever. They need fresh air.
R&R.
Reiner said that to Germans, R&R would mean rock and roll.
Rest and relaxation.
This is what they need. Prost, Michael.
Prost.
Throughout this scene, Mike's handle or hand kept jumping back and forth between the left and right sides.
2.5 years.
This scene was supposed to be outside because so much of this episode is indoors, but shortly after they started filming, they were forced to move inside due to lightning.
There's no way you do that kind of time.
Goddamn right.
You goddamn right. Wait, what do you mean?
I'm a bounce.
You'll have a warrant on you. And that shit doesn't go away.
That appears to be the situation Gene will find himself in part because of Huell.
I know he was gonna kill him.
Sooner or later, they're gonna catch up with you.
He didn't get DB Cooper.
Saul's going to find him, though.
Should I call the FBI and tell them I found DB Cooper? Don't skip. I think I can fix it.
How you gonna do that? You ain't even a lawyer.
I don't need to be a lawyer, all right? I'm a magic man.
Jimmy's again projecting a successful lawyer vibe with a Davison Maine suit. With the unexpected change in scenery, the director did an unscripted match cut here.
You've been selling drop phones? On the street?
If we could, don't get bogged down in the details. The arresting officer, he has a DUI. And he's been put on desk duty twice. I know he has anger issues. I can attest to it. We get him smelling like a distillery.
Jimmy just peeked at the camera while spinning his BS.
And we piss him off in court. He will take the bait. He will lose his cool in front of the judge. A little stumble in there for dramatic effect, and I have some thoughts on how to engineer that.
What is this chicanery? Or rather, what is this chicanery? Although she should be furious right now, Kim stays solution-oriented as usual.
Viola, can you get me case material for Penal Code 3422, battery on a PO?
Great. What's our first move?
I'm not tearing down a cop. I will look into this.
Thanks, Kim. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
That is a prime example of Kim wielding a powerful okay. And yes, I know we're not counting them. There are too many inconsequential ones, and counting just the consequential ones is too subjective.
Tell me if there's anything I can do.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. Viola, can you just...
Ouch. It's ADA Suzanne Erickson.
I got it.
We met her in Inflatable.
Hope that wasn't a bribe.
Wow, that would be one sad bribe. Do you have a minute to discuss a case?
Sure.
Babineau?
Really?
To start with, the whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
Pickpocket with a rap sheet attacks a cop in broad daylight?
We should be talking misdemeanor.
It's battery on a PO. That's 18 months.
It's excessive.
He has a prior. The same officer arrested him.
Babineau didn't recognize him. He didn't even know he was a cop.
I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
I did my homework. You had 5 other cases, and not once were the defendants given anything close to this kind of jail time.
They weren't repeat offenders.
State v. Murphy?
He was off his
He
meds.
headbutted a police officer. He gave him a concussion. 5 months. State v. Karp, 5 months.
You're not seriously comparing...
State v. Brezovich, no jail time, 2 months probation.
No priors.
Brezovich broke a cop's nose. This is unequal justice. The officer was not injured at all. He was hit with a bag of sandwiches.
Well, sandwiches and at least 2 cans of Shasta.
He has no history of violence.
Kim's point makes a lot of sense.
There is no negotiation here, Kim.
Except New Mexico has a habitual offender statute. If Huell's prior pickpocketing was a felony, then that adds a mandatory year to the basic sentence. So you can see where Suzanne's coming from.
And honestly, I don't understand why you want anything to do with this. And our only witness is a scumbag, disbarred lawyer who peddles drop phones to criminals.
Jimmy wasn't disbarred, Suzanne, just suspended. Her opinion of him is probably colored by his role in ruining her case against Tuco.
Did he threaten you or pay you off?
Whoa! Okay, that's it. We're done.
You don't know the whole story. All right, Mr. Babineau. Sure, Huell. I'm on my way.
You can hear Kim's rapid footsteps continue even as she slows to a stop.
I'm gonna go talk to him right now. Huell can't run. He's gonna have to put on his big boy pants and go to jail.
My big boy pants.
Bob was not a fan of this jacket, and it does seem like an unusual wardrobe choice for Jimmy.
You're gonna tell him to stay put?
Yeah, sure. You do your thing, I'll do mine.
Jimmy, come on, what does that mean?
Don't worry.
She is worried. She's worried that Jimmy's going to start a scheme that tears down the officer.
I'm not tearing down a cop.
Maybe instead of tearing him down, she can raise up Huell instead.
Bang at you over here.
No, Kim did it safely. Kim does have a plan, and it involves writing supplies? The Crayola crayons are from the future, as are the ProMarks highlighters, as the brand didn't exist yet. And those index cards are Target's Up and Up brand, which didn't exist until 5 years in the future, and this isn't a Target.
Jimmy, whatever you're doing, don't. I have a better way.
This episode ends like Rabid Dog.
There's another way. A better way.
Hopefully Kim's plan goes better for Jimmy than Jesse's plan went for Hank. Next time on Better Watch TV. Look at these amazing new 2-year members. This is LP Master, Hero 143, Aljon Beast, and Lost Griff. And here are the new 1-year members. Decafate, Caden Dodd, Jan Pleshkash, Zolt Fox, Blaze Inc., Can Nugget, Salvage, Joshua Ratzlaff, We Read It Today, Mad Love, Bathroom Carpet, Sneak Pete, Snowden, Chicken and Pickle Butt, James Hobson, Never, Patrizio 95, Flopsot, Mortar Moment, Billy Bob Dan, Vincent Brower, Matanks, Jude Amoa, X Chicken Kawaii, IDK My BFF JV, Bazooka Tooth, Gornius, Small Diabetes, Matthias Luge, Fez, Cam DT 456, Chanto Rays, Kreen, Todd Chan, Hi There, NMQ 1982, No Names Were Chosen, Einfach Liam, Richie Lou, Farmcat 7929, Focus Force, Adrian Cruz, Matthew, Saris Ketis, Richard Carter, Dennis, Phoenix Tier, Aiden Heald, Minotaurus, Red Ball, Noah V5, Wolfman Dan, Frederick Nye Bengstrom, Santino, Shan, Dusty, Ticadio, Repels Fun, Aquino, Phil Collins, It's Not Herover, Just Bread, Jeffrey Matlock, Jeff B, Hassan Klink, Ms. Blue Sky, VP Castro, Aiden Aguilar, Trojan Trickster, Melon Seed, Head Bootius, Chills, Rurua, Casey Punk Must Die, Fabian Dre 24, Sigurd, Dominic Roker, Jesse Noda, Jorge, Maximus, Bolter Blante, Henning S, S4M, Microwave, S1, Maxwell, Andrew J, AJ, CR Nux 58, Lude Kiwi, Armapillo, Teta Chico Papu, Jack, Sockfox, Rigon, Petro, Glitch, Sometimes Randall, Nivius Nye, Marverdas, Chris A, A Kid Named Finger, Elik, Part-Time Job, Jacob Blondunsky, Warlock, Loch, Cone G, Adam Grzilek, Bobinator, A Brick Wall, Micrometer, Enoshima, Danosque 20, Kirayami, Hutch, Aaron Smith, Gerb TV, Panther, TZI, Cat Z, Suitman, Bites, and Ethan Lopez. And here are the new 6-month members. The Arborphiliac, I'm adopting a dog today, his name is Ace. Hoopy 2, Monochrome, Doof Droop, Saber, Louise Harrison, Sifo, Ball with Speed, Hazy Lua, Lars Martin Hogland, Nick McKenzie, Bill S. Preston Esquire, Swag, Scream Breaky, Kid Duck, JM, Fioto, Tofi, Retro Productions, Chriskind, Real Celery, Farchi, Mr. Memetic, Maculatum, Samuel Brown, Dichu, Nitro Nina, The Greek Freak, Perp, Josh Gatos, Saucy, Databroth, Gerger Hanner, True, Hayden RHN, Nikki Kostian, Nexus, Nizthis, Dylan, Lordalon, Joe Malone, Mel B, Tilash, Andy Stryker, Goku Mexicano, Julian B, Mohammed Fahmy, Ryan Alexander, Ramsey Bolt, Alfie Sauce, Tyson Erickson, GV Fix, Zakrisel, Pedro, David G. Armstrong, Barack Amin Urgens, Caleb, DePaintbrush 69, May A, Captain Flip Flop, Eliza Grabarczyk, Jalen Jones, Derbilbo Jacob, CYKZ, CTM, Quack Attack 19, Dylan, and Michael Myers. Next time, it's episode number 100. We've got drama with Giancarlo, and it's Lalo time.
You made it! Come on in. We got a reception desk right here. It's nice to be greeted by a friendly face, yes. Got a fireplace in the cozy waiting area. Couches and chairs and, maybe a water cooler in the corner with a electric kettle and an assortment of teas. Come on over here, my office. This is all original fixtures, by the way. And Wait, what is the next one? All original fixtures, and you know, we're only 4 blocks from the courthouse, so how convenient is that? Private bathroom. Ooh, we get that cleaned out. Don't worry. Over here, partner's office. Partner for the partner. Corner office. Lots of natural light. That's great for your circadian rhythms. Got cherry blossoms there, and look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's big. Yeah. Kitchenette down the hall here. And this is going to be great for snacks and BYO lunch. Maybe get one of those snazzy Keurigs in there. You know, put a few plants around, brighten the place up. So, what do you think?
So no more cell phones?
No, this is what the cell phones were for. I mean, if you're a lawyer, it's a great spot, right?
If I was a lawyer, I'd be in a big glass high-rise on the 40th floor.
Big glass high-rise?
When I'm not on my boat.
What the? Get out of town.
Michael, another day, another day mark. Is this right?
Another euro.
Yes, of course, you are correct.
Just a second.
Marzipan. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael. Jungs, guckt euch das an.
Ah, ein bisschen Zucker. Danke.
Kai?
Okay.
Das Zeug ist eklig.
Na ja, klar.
Hey, Cameron. It's good.
That took 3 hours. The first year. Do you want to ask me if I'm going to tell him or not?
Yeah. Are they starting?
Yeah, you said
They said action?
That's
Did they
what I
really?
heard.
You said action?
Ready?
Sorry.
And action.
Oh, you're the big guy,
Yeah,
huh?
no,
That's who
he's
you
the
are?
cop.
What do you... Shit.
I know, Helen, I know, Helen, I know.